Ignite Radio database has detected an unknown device. Please stand by. Oh dear, it would appear that he has returned. Corruption is spreading. Stand by while our antivirus system takes care of the threat. Antivirus system offline. New program
established. Codenamed MRR_best of 2018. New message received.
Welcome back to the show. This is one for the ages, and this time we're doing something different. Today, over the course of this show, we will be counting down the top 10 best albums of 2018. So, let's get the gears moving. I'm Tom McKay, and this is Metal Robot Radio. Welcome back to the show. I'm Tom McKay, and this is the Metal Robot Best of 2018 list. A little late into 2019, but much like my health on a busy night, I can't seem to care. Let's start up with number 10 on this list. This band, I wouldn't say put out the best album in their catalog, but it's the best and most raw melodic death metal album that they've put out since the 90s. With pedaling riffs, tight drum patterns that make the metronome get down on its knees, and vocals that would kill a normal person's throat, but must be a summer breeze for this dude. So, off of To Drink from the Night itself, here's Palace of Lepers by At the Gates, right here on Ignite Radio. I've got a curveball for you, and wow, this one, I just know I'm going to get some dirty looks for. My inbox is going to be flooded, but frankly, I don't care. This album was a great release from this band, taking a different route from the doom pop metal flavor that they used to have for a more classic heavy metal sound. This band came out with great riffs, grooving beats, and a sax solo in their instrumental. Oh crap, did I just spoil it early? Oh, well, let's not waste much more time then. Off of Prequel, here's Rats by Ghost, only on Ignite Radio. Hope you're enjoying the best of 2018 list so far. Let's keep it going. At number 8, we've got a concept scarier than Ghost themes about the Black Death, because this one could hit close to home for everybody. Coming back from the claws of death herself after battling a nearly fatal disease, this trio came back with an album that is grand in scope, dirty and groveling in its riffs, forceful in its percussion, and absolutely spellbinding in its conception. An album that wastes no time, shouldn't be held off any longer. Off of Our Raw Heart, here's Original Face by Yob, right here on Ignite Radio. If you liked what Yob had to offer, it only gets better from here. Number 7, once again, an album surrounded by death. God, this list is so depressing. But this time, someone didn't actually come back from it. Again, so depressing. God, why did I pick depressing albums? This album follows the death of the band's guitarist at such a young age, and the group having to come to terms with these circumstances. As a result, they came back with one of the heaviest records in their discography. And before you say anything, it's great, regardless of what genre you would classify these guys under. Because I know a lot of metalheads don't like this genre. So, with that said, I'm going to prove that this album's good regardless. So, off of Holy Hell, here's Doomsday by Architects, right here on Ignite Radio. Okay, still with us? We're down to number 6 on our list. This one was an album that stood unopposed at number 1 for some of the year. But after diving back into their previous albums, I've come to realize that this isn't the best they've ever put out. But that being said, this is still one of the most colorful albums I've heard all year. Great riffs, great solos, great percussion, great soaring vocals. And it is still one of the most magical albums that I've heard all year, with everything that I just mentioned. So it's on the list and it's here to stay. Plus, with one of my favorite cameos, there was no way this wasn't going to end up at least somewhere on this list. So at number 6, off of Omni, here's Black Widow's Web by Angra, right here on Ignite Radio.
Let me tell you a little tale.
Welcome back. Let's keep the list going. At number 5 is some straight up death metal. This band hasn't put out an album since 2011 until now, and coming back with great visuals, thrashing riffs, and tight percussion. This is an album that sold me from the first track onward, and not to mention the vocal delivery that'll make you clench your throat and go, "Ow! Is he okay?" So, off of their 7th studio album, Ghostly White, here's A Palpation's Warning by Deceased, only on Ignite Radio. Ignite Radio, that was some Deceased for you. Hope you enjoy that, because I've got another curveball coming your way. At number 4 is an album that you might not have actually heard and may have actually been turned off of because of one cover song that went viral. If you know what I'm talking about, then I assure you, the album doesn't sound anything like that. This album is actually punishing and ruthless, and it's about time someone stood up for it. And look, a trick like this, with one song going viral and breaking through to the mainstream, it's gonna work if the deep cuts are good, but if they're not good, if the deep cuts are crap, then what's the point, right? Well, thankfully, this isn't the case here. Case in point, off of Disobey, here's Officer Down by Bad Wolves, right here on Ignite Radio. We're in the home stretch of the top 10 list. We're in the top 3 albums of 2018 now, and if these albums aren't somewhere on your Spotify, iTunes, or Google Play playlist, I'm gonna be very sad. But maybe you didn't hear about a couple of these. Who knows? But at number 3, you really should know they exist. I shouldn't have to have any build-up for this one. If, for whatever reason, this doesn't deserve to be at least in the top 3, I'm jumping out of a window into the cold depths of hell, okay? So, off of their big return to form, known only as Firepower, here's Firepower by Judas Priest, only on Ignite Radio.
On Ignite Radio.
Number 2 of our top 10 best of 2018 countdown, we've got an album all the way from Jerusalem. This is a band I've wanted to share with everybody since the 12th grade, because I had to write an essay on a documentary that I picked, and the film that I picked was Global Metal, which this band actually appeared in, with great melodies, great tones, and tight percussion that brings you all the way to the Middle East itself. There's a reason that the good old Phrygian dominant scale works so well. I can't not have that feeling of ice sliding down my back while walking through the desert. So, off of Unsung Prophets and Dead Messiahs, here's The Cave by Orphanland, right here on Ignite Radio. Ignite Radio. Okay, number 1. This album is a concept I didn't think I would ever hear. A concept so interesting that it's almost impossible to conceptualize. You ever hear a lot of the bluesy soul stuff from, like, the Civil War era? Yeah, a lot of those, all those hymns crying out for God's help in the worst period of human history? Well, what if we add a dash of Satan into the mix and add a pound of black metal? What if we did that? Well, that's this album right here, and believe me, it's as cool as it sounds. Wow. So, here we go. The number 1 best album of 2018. We've been leading all the way up to this, so let's get straight down to it. Stranger Fruit, Zealanarder. And here's the song Ship on Fire, right here on Ignite Radio.
I come in the breath of the dead, bathing in my papa.
Ignite Radio. I hope you enjoyed the best of 2018 list. It was a good list to put together. But that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week from 6 to 8 p.m. every Thursday. So make sure you tune in. Here's Fragmentation of the Mind. I'm Tom McKay signing off on Ignite Radio.
The human mind